Hey, welcome to another episode of Electrical Theology Esoteric Life Coaching. I am your host, Charles. Thank you for joining me. We talk about the esoteric, metaphysical, the simulation, realities. Whatever you want to talk about, we're going to talk about, guys. We'll do a reading today, a general reading, and see what's going on in the universe and here on Earth. Alright, let's get started. Alright guys, welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome. I know that sounds pretty cheesy and all that good stuff, but hey, you found your way here and there's a reason why, and if it is, there's a message here for you. And if you are returning, I appreciate you continuing and your dedication and loyalty to watching these videos. And so like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and at the end of the video, guys, remember there's going to be other videos. Please watch those. Alright, let's get started, guys. Alright, we get the fourth chakra, which has to do with heart, right? We're opening our hearts now, right? This is what's going to make us shine. This is what's going to make us fly, right, to different areas of our life. And then we get the goddess of the moon, upright, right? And then we get healer of the ages in reverse. Now, the way we used to deal with our problems in the past and the way we deal with problems today, there is no right or wrong. Even though there's maybe new behavioral techniques out there, there may be old psychology we're still using, there may be new psychology. It's always evolving, but for millions and millions and millions of years, as long as humans have been here, we've been working out our problems. Now, the problem solution that we have, the problem is normally created by the same people who come up with the solutions. Right? And in one way that sounds pretty awful, but in one sense, you're the one who creates your problems, and you're the one who solves your own problems. Right? And all these behavioral techniques out here are helpful in one sense, but in the other sense, it's you who has to figure it all out. Right? You got to figure out why it is you're choosing to think the way you're thinking. How are you coming up with the resolution to your problems, right? For me, they're all puzzle pieces. And these puzzle pieces, we just got to figure out how they fit together for ourselves. And going forward, we just had a bunch of moon stuff happen. We just had a bunch of crazy planetary stuff happen. We've had the season change. Again, some of y'all are emailing me, talking to me and saying, hey, you know, I can barely sleep. I get 2 hours and I'm up for the rest of the night. And then I'm tired the next day. Well, this is still all part of that download, guys. Now, it's up to you to shut the download off. Right? A lot of you don't know you're in control of how many new ions you have coming in from the blueprint to 3D print here, or magnetically attract here on Earth. And it's the same thing. And if you missed that, let me say it again. That you're the one who's creating the ions. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch videos where I talk about the 3D printing, the simulation, stuff like that. And what we are doing is we're the ones creating in our thoughts, right? And in our thoughts, we are blueprinting or attracting together ions from that, this, Shambhala, all that good stuff we talked about. Right, these are where things come from, right? Where in the things that we create and attract and manifest here on the physical realm, right? It comes in from that. Where does that get its energy from? From old debris, right? We're just this big giant donut, or toroidal, it's hard to say, donut-shaped thing, right? And it's just recreating on itself all the time, which is us, right? It's a collective of all of our thoughts, of all of our imaginations, right? You have the ability to create whatever it is and pull from this donut, this cosmic donut, energy to create a reality. So we are all together creating this reality using our conscious, subconscious, our superconscious, our ids, egos, whatever terms you want to use. We are in this creation together, but you can individually create as well. Does it make sense? So together we're all battery. We are the battery to this donut turning. But we can make up our own simulations within it. So you are the programmer, you are the technicians, the electricians, the mechanics, right? We've talked about, my old programs were called soul mechanics, right? And we are the soul mechanic, we are the soul chemist, the soul electrician. And so we're able to take all of our conscious thought from that, right, bring it out of that into this world, but it comes into a blueprinted, we got to create the blueprint in the realms of Shambhala and hierarchy. The hierarchy is we give it a higher arc of electricity that then goes into the God realm, and the God realm then sends that energy down. But first there's this V, right? Sort of like an hourglass. And inside those sand, inside the hourglass are ions. But in order for the ions to go through the needle, if you will, or the ink to come through the printer that prints this gigantic picture, you see what I'm saying? The little bits of ink have to come out. So we've created our thoughts in the higher realms, and now we've gathered and collected the ions, and they've been blueprinted. But in order for them to come down, right, through this gap, we had to bridge that gap. And that's what our work has been about over the last few months, is bridging the gap. Meaning your present state to desired state. And so we have downloaded, we blueprinted. Now it's time to 3D print, right? We're just calling this realm 3D, right? There's 2D, 1D. Most of us are in a 2D, but we don't really understand that, and I'm not going to go into it here. But we have this little gap between my hands, right? And then there's a valve. That valve is your heart, right? That's a long drawn out thing about the goddess and the moon and the healer of the ages, and all these having to do with the fourth chakra, heart. Now your fourth chakra, heart, opened up. If you've been following my videos and listening, if you haven't, you need to open up your heart. That's going to allow all those ions and thoughts that you've created and blueprinted to come here in single file, if you will, just like the sand's coming through, right? Because it's you who's pulling it. It's you who's attracting it by your thoughts here on earth. So we have our meditation thoughts, and then those are about manifesting those thoughts into this realm, this dimension. And so in this dimension, right, then it opens up. So we have the top and we have the bottom, if you will. And this is, again, the donut. So we have that space, and there's that valve in between that space. And that space, you're the one who opens it up. That's heart. That's your God realm. And so we open up the God realm, and then it allows single file for the God valve, if you will, allows that. Now, this is the portal. This is the doorway. This is the gateway. This is the core door. The core door is core door. It's your heart. It's the door I'm talking about right now. You need to open that up for everything to come down to be 3D printed, if you will. And when it comes down into this realm, you have to tell it what to do. You're the solution to your problems. All right? That was a long drawn out sentence for that. This is what's happening right now, guys. So if you're not getting sleep, it's because the energy's trying to come through, because you told it to come through. You've been begging, praying, pleading, whatever, for it to come through. Well, it's here, guys. But it's up to you to do with this new energy that's charging you while you can't sleep. You need to take that energy and say, okay, go build my RV. Go get my land now, right, with authority. And so we have the Nine of Swords here, because in essence, you're still being cruel to yourself. For what reason? Right? There's no reason to be cruel to yourself with this Nine of Swords. Over here, drawn from the bottom of the deck. Alright, let's shift them up a little more. Alright, then we get the Ten of Wands, oppression, and that is upside down. So, in one sense, you're cruel to yourself, but you are working on yourself. You are opening your heart. You are doing some work. And once this valve opens up, and I'm going to skip forward real quick, for those who have been doing their work, and you have opened up, you have blueprinted, cosmically blueprinted, you've opened to the God realm, you've let it print it out, if you will, the sands of time to come down in this time realm, this time continuum dimension, and then start printing out your life. Meaning the ions already know how to go back together, right? We talked about the radio modulates a frequency, sends it through the airways, and then demodulates it into your radio, all right? Or any other airwave. But once you've opened up and that all the sands have gone down and you're starting to feel drained all the time, it's because you need to close the God realm. You need to close that off. If not, it just stays open. And because we need to close it off so it can start building up our new thoughts, our new ions, our new blueprints. right? It's like UPS orders. We go out, we deliver them all, our truck's empty, we go back and we fill it back up, right? So let our new thoughts, our new manifestations start blueprinting up there, right? When we start seeing evidence here in this world that things are starting to manifest and come together, then we start in our meditation time, start building new stuff, right? So, a lot of you have come out of your old thoughts, but you're still being cruel to yourself, right? And everything that you are doing, know that it's going to lead to riches. We get the 10 of stones, right? The 10 of stones here, and we get the 10 of wands, and then we get the 9 of swords. We're getting 9s and 10s right off the bat. So that means we're done with this micro cycle, guys. 9, 9, 10. Then we go to wands, right? Then we get the devil card upside down. So we're not so much tempted to keep doing things our old way, other than the cruel thoughts to yourself. But for whatever reason, you're still not passionate about bringing forth what it is you're ready to bring forth. That's why the healer of the ages is upside down, right? Again, healer for me, heal can be, hey dog, heal. You know, it could be my heel into my foot. But there's no healing to be done. We're a flesh bag. Once this flesh bag, we unzip and we go, it rots. Right? Energy goes back to energy. We go back to the donut without a flesh bag, and then we reincorporate into another flesh bag. Corporation means core. Corp means body. Right? So we need to stay passionate about what we're doing here on earth. If not, why are you here? Right? Again, you're the problem, and then you're the solution. And then we get the 8 of Wands upside down. 8 upside down is there's still disorganization. Go back a couple videos ago, and I said write down your thoughts, write down what is your soul's plan, right? If you were to be given these riches right now, which I see still coming in, most every reading gets the riches. So the riches are coming in. Do you know how to handle the riches? Most people lose their money because they didn't know how to handle it, because they didn't have the education. Start educating yourself about money, right? I'm not talking college business classes. Those for me were a bunch of waste of time. And I'm not saying it is for you, but they were for me. The way I learned business was really going out there, studying, listening, being a mentee, and asking a ton of questions, right? And then making mistakes, failing, and then doing it differently, right? So that's the best education, right? OJT, on-the-job training, right? Because even if you go to school, you get all the great degrees, as you see, banks are failing right now. All the banks are failing. These are Ivy League characters, right? They're crashing the banks, right? So how educated are these guys, right? So we need to reorganize our thoughts, right, about finances, right? How much do you need, right? Again, money is just energy. Energy is just comes from the God, comes from the this, that, Shambhala hierarchy. It's just energy. We're just turning the donut energy, the sugar of life, if you will, into riches, whatever that is for you guys, right? And then we get the Hierophant upside down as well. And the Hierophant's all about tradition, which I like this card upside down because we are doing things differently, right? And it has like a little portal behind that, if y'all can see that. It's a portal behind them. And so the portal's opening up differently. So part of where we're coming in then, and how your energy's coming through, is the Ace of Swords. Again, Ace of Swords. There's our beginning. Because what I'm doing here is had 3, 2, 1 card. And this is, if you will, the higher realms, right? Just like the hourglass, but now it's a sideways hourglass, because I want you to see that it's turning all the time. It's just not stationary, right? So this energy is turning. That's a toroidal turning, right? So now this is the other half of the hourglass. So we started with this, now we're reading this to see how the energy is coming in, and we do get that. Actually, it's not an ace, it's a 5. I got the light shining on it, it looked like an ace. But it's a 5 of Swords, which is upside down, which is meaning we're done with competing with other people. It's all about competing with ourselves, if you will, about opening up to ourselves. Now we get the Ace of Swords. I knew it was coming. So we get the Ace of Swords, guys. It is in reverse. So we've opened up. but we haven't initiated, right? You got to command. You got to say, okay, new thought, new solution. I need to look at things differently. I need to act differently than I did yesterday or 10 years ago or 20 years or whatever. I need to see things differently. It's a new mindset, guys. My riches is what I consider my riches to be, and the way I work for my riches, or the way I can have others work for my riches, or shared riches, whatever this is, right? You're the king, queen of your own dome. Your own dome. And we get the blank card, right? So we haven't created it yet. So it tells me that you still need to sit down with your pen and paper and map out what riches means to you and what kind of a lifestyle you need, and how are you going to change the undefined ions into something defined here, and how are you going to magnetically attract it. All right, we get the two of stones, right? So we get the one, now the two. So it's progressively showing us what we need to do. Make decisions, grounded decisions, right? It has to be grounded in your heart. Right, then we get the nine of stones in reverse. So we got the 9 and 10, right? And the way we thought about material gain, I was talking to someone the other day. It's like, I've had a lot of the nice things, the big house on top of the hill, the Corvettes, the Audis, you name it, I've had it. I've had multiple businesses, right? Some successful, some not, in the economic sense, but every one of them was very intelligent for teaching me something, right? And a lot of them lasted a long time. Other ones I sell every 5 years, whatever the case may be. Or I just shut them down, right, if I'm not having fun. So for me, riches is having fun, having some cash, having some sovereignty, and doing what I want where I want, right? So the material gains as they once were are going to be different for me, because I'm going to make them up, right? Blank card. And I'm now the guy creating my own soul solution, which is just soul and ion, right? And then we get the Father of Stones again, and again, it's the micros. This is the micro card, right? It's not the macro cards, the 21. This is a minor card, and the minor card is saying here, Father of Stones, the guardian. We're the guards of our own universe, right? We're the gatekeepers, and that's where we go into the V symbol again, right? The hourglass upright and down, right? In the middle, God is the gatekeeper, right? The key master. You're the key. The key is the frequency of your heart's frequency. When you resonate at your heart's frequency, that's the key that opens the door and closes the door when needed, on command. It's co-mand. You're the co-man, right? The human, right? The hue, the 7 frequencies that God presents. It's the 7 inks, if you will, in a cartridge that's blueprinting this life, right? And let's just get what the bridge is here, guys. Let's see what the valve is, the God valve, right? And that is the Hermit. So we need to reflect how going forward, make sure we're always reflecting. How will this reflect on me? Not on anyone else, right? How am I reflecting this? When I make a decision, how does it reflect? Is it a reflection of my heart's soul, right? How is my heart showing through here? Right? That's the reflection I want. That's the light I want coming from the divine light, from the V. I want it to come through the hourglass, have those ions, and everything I manifest, is it shining me? Is my soul it's shining? Alright, guys, that's all I got for you today. Appreciate it. Guys, newbies, if you love this stuff, definitely like and subscribe. Again, half of you that are watching these all the time aren't subscribed. So if you want my latest videos that are coming out, go ahead and subscribe, like it, and all that good stuff. Share it with your friends and watch those extra videos that are popping up, guys. See you tomorrow. Love each and every one of you.